It'll work out well. Okay, hey, look. Oh my god.
We're on.
Dear, we're gonna have a problem. Not tonight, but we'll have a problem in a month. What's this episode number? This is episode number 194. I wonder if we're still going to get to episode 200 before this goes away. I don't think we are. So
what's the problem?
I've just
missed.
No, you can't see it because it's on my screen, right? I've just pressed start broadcast, and it came up and it said, "This Hangout on Air is live." Hangouts on Air is being discontinued on August 1st. For quick streaming, try youtube.com/webcam. I'm like, oh no. Because
that's fast approaching. We don't really have much of a solution for that.
That's correct. It's a good month. It's a month away, and that's about it. So,
Crick, how many episodes can we crank out before August 1st?
Oh, I think we can do at least 10. They're not going to be very long. They're not going to be very good either, but we'll get 10 episodes done by then. We'll be at episode 204. We're not going to do that.
Might not be enough news, but we'll make our own news. We'll make our own figures and report on them.
Yes, damn it. That's the maker spirit, right?
I'm off uni. I've got the time.
got the time. I have the time. I just don't have the inclination. Or the willpower, power, I don't know, whatever. So your Hangouts in Air is being discontinued on August 1st. That's not a good sign. You have to figure that out and figure out what to do. Next week's show might be a little bit experimental. Or we might try something. We might just try like a hangout thing on an afternoon and see what happens. Maybe like on Sunday afternoon or so.
Yeah, we'll just first might do that. There's other options out there. It's just that this one is, it's quite good. So I'm confused as to why they're getting rid of it.
Oh, so youtube.com/webcam is probably just Hangouts on Air with a different skin. But
yeah, Brad seems to think that it's going to be vastly inferior, and I'm inclined to believe him. We'll see how it turns out, I suppose.
Brad thinks anything that changes is going to be vastly inferior.
Brad's he's half and half of that, you know.
I saw this great thing this afternoon, and I'm not sure if it was on. I don't know if it was on Twitter, and if it was on Twitter, then I might have retweeted it, and I don't know if you saw it. It was this old person with the caption. Oh, in my day, we didn't take offense so easily at things.
I haven't heard that one before.
I it's a very common refrain from old people, right? In my day, we didn't take offense so easily at things. And then underneath it, it's got condescending Wonka. And it's in your day, you freaked out if black people drank from the same water fountain.
Is the worst part is that they probably are that old too. It's not that long ago, so it would be. Yeah,
no, that's absolutely accurate.
It's all these young snowflakes, man. Everyone, everything.
Oh yeah, no, all the snowflakes, right? So delicate and whatever.
Let's maybe we don't go there.
I like the snowflakes. The snowflakes are nice. But yeah, the snowflakes are nice and they have feelings. And I have feelings as well. I'm going to talk about them on air for things. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, actually, we are talking about them on air.
Jump straight into it.
There's, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to put the link to the show in the Facebook page as well, because Brad likes to do that. If only I could find the fucking thing in the YouTube event list. Nah. Hang on. Live now. There we go. That'll do it. So I'm just going to go here. Bear with me for a minute. We go there. I'm going to go copy that. Oh, now I'm talking. I can hear myself talking. Okay. Don't go to messages. Go to TCCA and go to. Oh dear, that's embarrassing. On my shortcuts on the left, Transformers Down Under is above TCCA, and I swear I didn't actually do it.
You're just too loving of them. Yeah. Always want to be around there.
Yeah, they're always good.
See algorithm.
They're always good people. And Team preview. Okay, and post. All right. Okay, and I'm going to close that tab now. And so what are we going to talk about? We've got the return of G1 Prime again. We've got 2 G1 Prime figures in the show tonight. It's great.
I think Hasbro's legally obligated to release one every 6 months.
Yes. Some new age insects, reprints. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. We're ready to go. Apologies for the inconvenience. All right. Ready, set.
Yeah. I forgot we weren't recording anyways. Okay.
No, it's all been recorded for posterity. Because why not? All right.
What do they call it? Academic honesty, something like that.
Yes. It's about honesty in academia.
This is an art form for intellectuals, of course. The old Transformers podcast.
It's Transformers Gate. That's probably not a good idea to go there. All right, ready, set, 3, 2, 1. Stop clicking things. So he clicks something.
Sorry?
I said stop clicking things, and your first reaction was to click something.
Can you hear me clicking?
I can hear you clicking.
That's not good. All
right. Just make sure that your microphone is on the make sure your microphone setting is on the microphone that you think it is, because if I can hear you clicking, maybe your mic is on the wrong thing. Just checking the Hangout.
Hangout. I'll do that. Yeah, no, it's on my. I just think I just have a sensitive mic.
Yeah, fair enough. Because you are quite loud, actually.
Okay, let me just do that. How's that?
Practically no change. That's why I'm wondering about your mic.
Yeah.
Just tap your mic. Just make sure. Yeah, no, that's doing nothing.
Oh shit.
So you know that point where I said check the mic that Hangouts is using.
I don't. Yeah, I checked the mic that Hangouts is using. Headset.
So there's a cog at the top of your screen, and when you click that, it's settings, and one of the things there it tells you which microphone is being used. You're right. No, I can't hear anything now. No, I figured out why we didn't use that microphone. No, can't hear anything. No, it's good. We've gotten 5 minutes into the show and broken your microphone. Can't hear a thing. On the off chance that it was me that dusted it. No. No. I can definitely not hear you. So whatever you change it back. And also just make sure that you didn't press the microphone mute button at the top of the screen. No, nothing. So I suspect that your headphone on your headset is not working. Your microphone on your headset is not working at all. Are you sure you're not muted in your Hangout? It's the big. Do you have a big red microphone icon at the top? Okay. Now I've unmuted you. See whether or not that works. No, look, it's probably a good thing this happened before we started, right? Nah, not getting anything from you. Oh, hang on. I heard something. Nah. It was like you jiggled a chord or something. I don't know.
No.
Yep. I heard that. I heard that it was very, very faint.
You hear this?
Yeah, it's very, very faint though.
Okay, hold on. I'll try boosting.
I think are you on Windows?
Yeah.
I think your microphone gain on that mic, if you go into your control panel, is on really, really low.
Yeah, I'm changing.
Yeah.
It
There we
moves
go.
it down. Yeah. Okay.
It sounds
How's that?
terrible. It sounds terrible, but hang on, just a lot of noise in the background.
A lot of noise. Okay.
All right, just turn it down a bit. Yeah, okay. Try now.
Is this any better?
A little bit. Yeah, like I'm not hearing noise in the background now.
You don't hear? Okay. Is it just a shoddy? Is the quality of the audio bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when
I
you
don't have a solution.
it's when you speak, I can hear. When you speak, I can hear like whatever hum is going on in the background. It's like it's coming through with you when you speak. So did you just fiddle with something in your Windows control panel to get that working?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Try changing it back to the other microphone.
All right. Yeah. So I'll try fiddle with that one.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Can you talk to me?
Yeah, that's much, much better.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not touching anything else.
Yeah, okay, all right, we're good.
And then I'm buying a new microphone on Monday.
Good. Get a USB microphone.
This is a USB mic, but it's like half busted, I think. So I've been.
What have you done to your microphone?
I think the cable's just worn down or something.
Did your dog chew the cable?
Don't think so.
Nah.
Must just be. Yeah, I'm going to get something better on Monday. Like I thought this was decent, but apparently not. I hope no one's watching right now. Well, if they did, they stopped watching.
Yeah, no, they've probably stopped. Don't know. All right.
All right,
cool. All right,
let's go.
Let's just go. We'll get
For disaster strikes again.
Yeah, I give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's now 9:40. That's good. It's a good thing there's not that much news this week. All right, ready?
Blast through it.
Yeah. All right. Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world with Australian accents, mate. This is episode 194. We are recording live on Friday, the 5th of June, 2019. This is one of those rare occasions where the date is correct in the run sheet. This week, we will be talking about the return of G1 Prime.
Again.
Yeah, again. Some new age insects, some manga reprints, and a few more things coming up after this.
Smooth transition.
Yeah, it's very smooth. It's very smooth. All right. Cut to intro, opening credits. Oh, no, not that part. All right. Hi, I'm Jason. Joining me this week, we have a 2-up show this week. It's just myself and Max. Max, has actually been a really freaking long time since we've had you on the show.
Yeah, it's been. I think I've done a couple with Brad recently, and then a couple of weeks off, and so it's like I've been on a couple of times. But it's only been like two ups with Brad recently because it's just how timing's worked out, I suppose.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how 2019 has just seen everyone get really, really busy. It's like we don't get anything for being really, really busy. We just are really, really busy.
Yeah, I know, like Brad's been all over the place at work. I've had a nightmare semester at uni, and no one's actually coordinating.
Yeah,
shows has been not like surprisingly not as easy as you think it would be for just people getting together on a Friday night for 2 hours.
Yeah, so Friday. Look, I find Friday night an interesting night to record a podcast. Like, it is a bit of a social night, so like I kind of like I'm missing out on some social interaction, which is why I duck out occasionally on a Friday night and just skip the show. But yeah, no, like it's I guess it's a time. It is a time that a lot of us are generally able to, at least donate a couple of hours. And I think it's better to actually take a couple of Fridays or take a couple of hours on a Friday night than a Saturday night, because Saturday, like, you might be running into something from the day. Anyway, that's a bit of a production thing. I think, like, we do record the show on a Friday night. It's currently quite late into the night, and I guess ultimately we need to get started, really, don't we?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. All right. Look, this is the start of the show is obviously where we would, I say obviously, but it's where we would usually do bot shots. But bot shots is over. We're gonna take that away and work on something new for a discussion group. A discussion group competition of some kind. So that means that we're going to go back a little bit and look at some of the this week in Transformers Weekly history. If you go back far enough over the last, what have we been doing this for? It's like we're almost at 4 years now. Actually, we probably are at 4 years because we've skipped a few weeks here and there. This week in Australian Transformers Weekly history, that segment title is not going to stay that way because it doesn't roll off the tongue very well. We did get the first pictures of the Diaclone Paris. I don't think it's a Diaclone, a Dakar Rally version of Terregis, the Trailbreaker repaint, which I have still never actually seen in person. And I think I decided to get rid of my Ocular Max Trailbreaker and Hoist. So, like, I think it's safe to say that I'm not really that into the figures, but I do remember that Dakar Rally redeco of him did look fantastic.
Yeah, I owned one for a while, and it was one of the nicer looking figures out there.
So you got rid of it as well?
Yeah, well, it's a great looking figure, but like the mold was a bit shit, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, this is ultimately why I chose to get rid of them, right? But yeah, and
I want to speak highly of it, but you can't.
No, like, so you and I were talking about we do have an Ocular Max figure coming up later in the show, and we were talking about it before the show, and I said that there's been a few things I've found where Ocular Max came out of the gates swinging really, really well with Sphinx. I found some of the stuff that they've done since then has been pretty hit and miss. So it's a bit disappointing. Ultimately, I kind of feel like MMC might be better off sticking with their reformatted line rather than OcMax, but yeah, we'll see how they go. They want to do both, so yeah. What else do we get? And this week in history, we had Flame Toys Tarn was announced. Suddenly, a wild Ash Whaling has appeared out of nowhere and joined the podcast.
Dark Spirit Ash has invaded.
He has joined Muted, and like, this was a danger on the show. Let's unmute Ash and see what happens. Right? I think Ash has muted himself. Actually, I don't know if I can unmute Ash.
We'll see if he can. Maybe going, and we'll see if he can sort himself out.
Maybe himself. I'm going to go into the control room and see if I can unmute Ash. No, doesn't work. Anyway.
Might still be setting up, I guess.
He might be. We'll see how we go. All right. So other stuff in years gone by. We did have the announcement of Flame Toys Tarn. That is a figure. I think that when did Flame Toys Tarn come out? He came out at a recent convention, didn't he? Or a few months ago. Eventually.
Yeah, it was quite recent.
Very, very well regarded figure.
Yeah, as is part of the course of Flame Toys, it seems like they know their stuff.
That's right. In other things that are perhaps not quite so well regarded, we reviewed The Last Knight. That would have been 2 years ago, actually, not last year, because last year was a Bumblebee year. And yeah, so that would have been 2 years ago. We reviewed The Last Knight. Takara revealed a reissue Unicron, another one, and Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron was revealed to the world at large. And in rather more inauspicious news, Power of the Prime's Machinima series ended, and good riddance to it.
And now we'll never see it again.
No, we will, right? Because all the same people are working on the fucking Netflix show. So
gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm hopeful that it will not suck as well, but we'll see how we go. All right, let's get to some news, shall we? I feel like Ash's avatar is just going to sit there.
It's just silently judging us the whole way through the show.
Yeah. I think Ash's avatar is just going to sit there at the bottom of the screen for a while we talk about this. Right. So, Takara Tomy announced this week that they were going to be selling a set of a 35th anniversary Convoy reissue. That is the figure on the left. And a version of what we know as Studio Series 38, which is the Optimus Prime from Bumblebee, paired up with him.
Yeah, it seems to be in a bit more of a G1 style color scheme.
That's true. Now
more as it could be compared to the movie.
Well, yeah. So Studio Series 38 has been a figure that we're all like quite fond of, and it's part of it is that we were very fond of the design of Prime himself in the Bumblebee movie, which I think is the first time that we've ever been able to say that. And I am going to just going to welcome Ash, because Ash can unmute himself now. There we go, and he in fact has his Studio Series 38 in his hand. Ash Whaling, how are you doing?
I thought I couldn't join the podcast. I thought it wouldn't let me, and then all of a sudden it did, and then I wasn't here, but I was banished, but I am, but I'm not. So
it's nice.
Sorry.
It's nice to have you.
I actually grabbed my Studio Series Prime. Was like, oh well, if I can't join the podcast, so I guess I'll just fiddle around with this, and then
I'll play with Prime.
Started working. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good. All right. Look, so we're going to get back to this. This is the Takara G1 reissue, standing right next to the Studio Series. I'm going to say it's a reissue because you can buy Studio Series 38 in Japan. They have chosen to change some of the colors on it, not very much, but just enough to make it very much a very sort of identifiable G1 Prime look. And of course, as with any G1 figure, they have not applied the stickers in a straight way.
Just to make it as accurate as possible, they had to make it inaccurate. Yeah,
just so it really looks like a toy from the 80s. We were commenting as we were looking at this beforehand. So some of the differences, there's a more obvious grey stripe around the midriff on the Studio Series figure, and it looks like he might have a slightly lighter color scheme and a possibly metallic paint job.
I can actually tell you right off the bat, there's several very big changes. One, the yellow in his wrists for the yellow actual chevrons. That's not on the Studio Series figure.
Okay, but when you said big changes,
well, I mean, sorry, I'm working up to the biggest one. The blue paint on the back of his hands is not present, but the biggest change is the fact that he actually has Autobot symbols on his shoulders. There's no Autobot symbols on the Studio Series. Right. So and it's something a lot of people pointed out.
So his hands are blue on the Studio Series figure, but that does actually point out, like, the color scheme is wildly much brighter. So
it's cartoony.
Much more cartoony, really. And I kind of want it.
Yeah,
I kind of want it. Now there is one major. I mean, look, that's a G1 Prime in with the sticker peeling off in CAD mode. And there's a comparison photo of the so like if I go far enough through this, there's one really compelling reason to get this set from Takara Tomy Mall, no matter how much it costs, and that is the fact that they are packaging them in separate boxes that are sort of reproductions of their G1 boxes. The Prime one, obviously, he doesn't, well, not obviously, but he doesn't come with a trailer, so it's a smaller box. It's kind of just the Walmart Prime with a Japanese box. But then they've also done the exact same thing and packaged the Bumblebee movie Prime in CAD mode, and stuck him in a box that labels him as 01 anyway, even though he's not 01 of anything. But they've also done a G1 box art style figure
artwork.
Yeah, that art is gorgeous.
Fantastic. It looks so good. And so like I'm thinking that I may end up spending some money on these and importing them.
I almost feel like the box is a selling point, to be honest.
I've got the Studio Series figure. I'm not going to open the box, which does make me wonder if I really want to get it. Who else is feeling tempted to purchase this?
I kind of want it from the box.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I don't need a G1 Prime, but if I can find, if by some miracle I can get a 2-pack for a decent price, or find just the Bumblebee Prime by itself, then I'd certainly consider it.
Yeah, you're right. So I don't feel like there's anything particularly unique about this G1 Prime figure. I mean, look, it's always nice to have a nice crisp G1 Optimus Prime in your hands, but I don't think we need it. What do you think?
For the legions of people that have lost their Prime Fists, this is another way of getting them back. Let's be clear, that's what happens to everybody. They lose their Prime hands.
Every time there's a reissue of Optimus Prime, you don't think, hey, I could get that Optimus Prime. It's, oh, I wonder if those fists will fit.
Yes.
You know, you sort of say it like a joke, but you're also entirely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I mean, like it's a joke statement that is, you know, it's one of those jokes that cuts awkwardly close to the bone. Yeah. Look, the more I look at the color scheme, the more I really kind of want it. In actual fact, the color scheme on the G1 figure is less bright than the Bumblebee figure.
But it's also chrome as a trade-off.
Is it really though? Like it looks? Isn't it just the paint?
For
you mean the
G1?
Yeah,
G1 figure, yes.
Yeah, true. There's a decent amount of chromed plastic on the G1 figure. Let's
Correct.
Go. Yeah. So yeah, if you do want a fancy box, Takara Tomy Mall is, I believe, currently taking orders. I think they might have started on the 1st of July actually. Oh God, those boxes are gorgeous. And this is so right now I've got the artwork from the G1 box on screen, and I'm sad that it's got the word sample printed across it, because otherwise it would make an amazing poster. And the same with this one, because like that's probably the only clean version of this artwork that you're going to get.
We need someone to just like fold out the box and take a scan of it, really.
Yeah. Someone needs to unphotoshop the word sample off this version of the bot, and maybe make it slightly higher resolution and see how it goes. But yeah, so if you are if you haven't purchased your Studio Series 38 yet, maybe you want to import the set from Takara Tomy Mall. See how you go. I will say that I recommend dealing with Treasure Japan. If you are going to import from Japan, you can email them, send them the URL of the page, and send them the cost of the purchase in on PayPal, and they will go and order it for you and let you know when it comes in. I believe these are not actually supposed to come out until later, much later this year. I think it might be like December or something.
All right, retro Christmas toys.
Maybe. All right. So we're all interested in that. Okay. It's good. It's good to know. The next one, maybe we're not all so interested in, although it does seem to have some new effects pieces. So we are looking at new pictures of Masterpiece 19 Plus Smokescreen. He's got some new smoke effects that the way that this photo has them placed, it makes it look like his engine is not working properly, but that's okay. Those images are still loading, but yeah, it's kind of nice. We saw his new head, or his new face design come up a couple of weeks ago. This photo makes it look his chin is slightly less pronounced, I think. There were jokes going around at the time that he looked kind of like the Tick, and this seems to sort of bring his chin back into line with sort of the rest of the Masterpiece body, but you can more clearly see the smoke effect sort of at his feet, like he's skidding to a halt. Look, he's a nice looking figure. The changes that they're making to the Masterpiece Plus for anime and in some cases toy accuracy, they are starting to sell me on obtaining these versions of the figures. I kind of hate myself for it, but yeah.
It means you're playing right into their hands, and that's exactly what they want you to do. See, obviously, I'm here holding my existing Smokescreen because I love the guy. I've always thought he was a really cool one of the Datsun molds, but there's actually quite a number of engineering changes. I mean, obviously, the transformation itself is the same, but there's actually small things like His shoulder guns
Oh, the
are
shoulder
actually
gun's
a hell of a
definitely
lot bigger. They've actually been made a lot smaller on that figure, so they're
Mhm.
more in proportion. But actually, the mechanism that holds them in place completely different on the reissue. A lot
Yes,
bigger, a
yes.
lot more sturdy. Apart from that, I think the big part of it that I find with these releases is obviously the change of the face to make it more cartoon accurate. But more to the point, the fact that they actually give you alternative faces, which is a really
Yes.
big one. Because I mean, a lot of the older figures, obviously, alternative faces weren't a thing back then. You just got
Do
your
you-
guy,
do-
and that
do
was
you
your guy.
Do you think that's really that's sort of Takara responding to a lot of the third-party figures, how they would come with multiple faces?
I think it's hard to ignore. It's just one of
If
those
it
things that, you know, they've started doing it. People have responded. Oh, I
Hmm.
guess people do like that kind of thing.
It
So
feels less like a response to the third-party figures and more of a response to, the wider Japanese market of action figures as a whole. Like,
It's probably right. Yeah, it's probably just moving with the times for where the market's going with them.
I mean,
Because
if you
you
look at the
look at all the-
Masterpiece landscape, you can see right now that accessories are just
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, big time.
Very true.
I think
So the other thing that I've noticed actually is that on some of the photos, I'm not sure if it'll show up in any of the photos here. In some of the photos, his shoulder guns are actually pointing in different directions. Like they're not both pointing the same way. So I don't think they're aligned with each other.
That's definitely something that can't be done on the existing figure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe it might be less obvious with the official photos, but when we saw the photos of it standing at one of the toy shows, it was definitely more obvious that one of the guns was sort of up and down. It might have just been a prototype. So yeah. Now we do have an official price on him. He ends up being about $85 or $90 US. I think it's about the same price that we expect for sort of the car reissues or the car masterpieces, and he is due in January 2020.
it just actually seems like quite a wait for
It
just a reissue.
Look, it is quite a wait. It's a reissue, but also like it takes time to tool up the production lines and get them going and stuff. Like anytime we get just a straight up masterpiece reissue, it takes time for it to come out as well. Like this is no different. But also I think Takara's trying to sort of be a little bit careful and make sure that they don't sort of tread on other releases' toes. Yeah. Ash, you're looking very puzzled.
It's actually quite interesting. The more I look, the more obviously it's interesting how the reissue itself seems to have a lot more sort of, I guess, emphasis on sort of color and sort of things really popping. But at the same time, he loses a lot of the printed detail. Obviously, his I mean, unless this is obviously just an example of, you know, not a finished product, but there's tampos on the side there regarding the smoke tactics. He's got sponsors on the front. The top of his doors actually lists the DevCon oil as well as the 38. The only printed detail I'm seeing on this figure is obviously the Autobot symbol on the chest and the 38 on the doors.
Yeah, I mean,
he's even lost details that he used to actually have sponsorship along the top of the windscreen.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we know that the point of the Masterpiece Pluses is that they're more cartoon accurate. So, yeah, the original looked a little bit more like a rally car, and now he's meant to look more like the cartoon version. And yeah, I've always been fond, and just looking at you holding it there, I can see why. I've always been fond of just how sharp and shiny Masterpiece Smokescreen actually is, because his colors really pop on the original. And the new one, the colors are a little bit more muted because they're meant to be more anime accurate.
I mean, things like the blue windscreens, the blue windows obviously pop out a lot more. He's got a, sort of the matte white gun instead of the silver finish from the original one. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's definitely a trade-off. I don't feel it's definitively better. It's just different.
Yeah, I still think the red really defines the car and the robot mode. It just really pops. But like on the version you are holding up right there, it's so shiny. It's just gorgeous.
It is. It's a really nice, like really sort of cherry red, as opposed to this one's a lot more sort of a muted kind of almost pastel-y red. It's really not blowing me away.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if I can just take the new heads and put it on my old one.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing, right? Like you can keep your old one, but you can't get the new head of the new gun design. So what are you going to do?
You forget that I'm a toy surgeon.
January 2020, the operating theater is open at Ash's house.
It is time to operate, yes.
Max, are you going to be looking to pick up the new Masterpiece Smokescreen?
This is I don't know. Like I've never gone for the Masterpiece repaints, to be honest. But like this one just looks really good, to be honest. I was saying to Brad the other day, the extent to which they managed to, make it look like, completely change the look of a figure just through a couple of small resculpts and a change of paint is really astonishing me. Like, it looks a lot cleaner than it did beforehand. It looks like a cartoon nowadays. It seems to be. I think the best way to describe it would be it doesn't look like it came from the old era of, sort of more reimagined masterpieces. It looks like it comes from the current era of cartoon style masterpieces.
Well, it's not the first. It's not the first reissue of this mold in a plus color scheme either. That honor goes to Prowl.
Correct.
They've also reissued
Blue Streak.
Did they do a plus Blue Streak? Is he out yet? Not yet.
I saw him announced.
Yeah. No. I'm not actually sure we got an official release date for that one. But he also has some effect pieces, and we also have seen a plus version of Wheeljack as well. I still think this one is probably looking the most effective of them. In terms of whether or not you buy Masterpiece Plus figures, I generally do not. And then I purchased Masterpiece Plus 36 Megatron, and so I feel like it's a slippery slope from here on out.
It's all downhill from here.
It is all downhill from here.
It's a very expensive slope.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, like, as far as MP Blue Streak goes, yeah. MP Plus... MP 18 Plus Masterpiece Blue Streak revealed, doing the whole effects thing.
Yes. Yeah. I remember thinking that actually looked quite good as well at the time.
Yeah, but you're right. There's no date on him. I completely forgot. Because, I saw this and just... I really loved it because, again, it's obviously faces and such. And I think that they've really nailed eyes in the MP Pluses. But, yeah, good point. I don't remember there ever being a date attached to this guy. So...
He might be a mall exclusive. I don't know. Maybe his pre-order's come and gone. We'll see.
Well, I was always under the impression that this Blue Streak mold was technically Silver Streak.
Yeah. Look, I believe that's a thing when it comes to the English translation to this show.
The main reason why I know this is because if I was to stop sharing my screen just for a moment, I've got him too.
Hang on. There we go.
Yeah.
Click. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, much like Max said earlier, I was never going to be one of the people that buys more than one of the mold, but I managed through my own twisted logic to say, well, technically, Smokescreen has a body kit. He's not the same mold. He's slightly different. It's fine. And that's the lie I keep telling myself.
Yeah. Look, it's an effective lie. They've built an entire empire of Transformers fans on it. But,
yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, if I'm lying to myself, I'm only hurting myself, so it's fine.
It's true. All right, let's move on. There was an announcement this week that Viz, who, look, if you know Viz as me,
are you the presenter currently, Jace?
I am the presenter. What's going on?
Just making sure they're presenter. That's all. Because he keeps saying that I'm presenting to everyone, but I don't think I am.
No, I'm presenting.
Curse you, Google Hangouts.
No, it's switched off. Let me present to everyone again. There we go. All right. So, Viz Comics, the British publishing arm that is famous for Viz magazine. Viz has branched out a little bit in recent years, and they are seeking to bring the Japanese Transformers manga to the US, which does mean an English translation of it. They are beginning with they're beginning with Fight Super Robot Lifeform. They're the strips that were actually published in. They were previously published by Million Publishing a while ago, I think 2002, but they've sort of been that's been out of print for quite a while. These are the comic strips that appeared in TV magazines, some comic books, and of course they're originally in Japanese. So it's like further adventures of G1. And if you're a bit tired of IDW's new comics, maybe take a trip back in time and see how these go. They are coming this winter. The tweet that we have on screen says, and it also shows a picture of let me just enlarge that. A picture of the cover of book 1. Now, so in terms of characters in here, because it is Fight Super Robot Lifeform, we have a Megatron and a Prime, plus we have a Deathsaurus, we have a Rodimus or a Hot Rod, not sure. There's a Godgen,
Chrome Dome,
and Chrome Dome, and Starsaber, and there's someone looming in the background that I can't.
Black Zarak.
Yeah, you got Scorponok and Overlord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I completely missed Overlord there as well. So yeah,
not only did you miss Overlord, you missed him giving you a cheeky thumbs up too, just at the bottom of the frame.
Is he? I don't know.
If you look closely, he's sort of there just
no. I think
endorsing the product.
I think he might have his thumb menacingly placed on his chin.
Is that a Japanese thing? Fair enough.
I think it kind of is.
I mean, for the people viewing at home, for the people listening at home, rather, the one thing that I want to know more, and I hope that it explains it, why does Megatron have shark teeth? I mean, is that just the manga equivalent of just looking evil? He just has shark teeth?
Let's be honest, it's not the weirdest thing that's come out of Megatron's mouth in Japanese manga.
Say no more.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I wonder if they'll translate that. No, listen.
I also wonder that. I wonder how many of the mangas they're going to actually translate, because we do know that the Legends manga, the pack-in comics that they've been doing in the Takara Legend series, that is now finished. The final. I don't think they actually managed to pack the final comic in. I think Takara ended up putting it up on their website, which is just sort of the same as admitting defeat, really. But they've finished their Legends manga, and so I wonder if that might come up in one of these volumes to come up soon as well. We'll see how it goes. Let's move on. There's a couple of bits of news this week. Now, Ash, have you played the card game?
Briefly. Very, very briefly.
I have not. I don't believe Max has either. Have you, Max?
No. I was expecting to go into this and let you two carry it, but
yeah, no, that's fine.
On the line.
I'm more than happy to admit to not playing the card game. I'm not really that into card games. I did bring up this story for one particular reason, which is that Omnibots are coming to the collectible card game. And so Omnibots in the 80s were only attainable via a mail-away purchase with robot points, which often means that most of us did not obtain all of the Omnibots.
Or any of them.
Oh, I had one. I had this guy. I had Camshaft. And he was actually one of my favorite Transformers because he was quite difficult to obtain, and I had to wait for a while for him to turn up. Yeah. So yeah, they've reused the names. What are the other Omnibot names? Wait a second, I can do this. They're all on screen here.
There was Downshift, isn't there?
There is a Downshift. There it is.
Yep.
This is Robot Mode and Overdrive. Yes. So Camshaft, Downshift, and Overdrive. Only had Camshaft, but you have seen the names reissued or reused over the years in the Generations line, and it's kind of nice to know where they came originally from. But yeah, I'm not sure whether they're going to have that much impact on the card game themselves. But I just think it's nice to sort of see these characters that were, sort of exclusive mail-away products in the 80s. I think it's just nice to see them reused and see them.
This may well be the closest a lot of people come to owning them.
Well, it's certainly better than the names just being thrown around as generic repaints every couple of years.
Very true.
It's essentially what the Omnibots exist for.
But I think when they do throw them around, they do tend to keep them together in a team as well. That's not too bad. Overdrive. So one of the reasons I got Camshaft was because of the way that his body transforms is very different to everyone else. Overdrive tends to look like he owes a lot of his transformation to Sideswipe, and the arrow keys don't work on this image gallery. Thank you. And Downshift sort of looks a little bit like sort of your generic sort of Wheeljack kind of character with his guns. And so Camshaft was quite a different body design. These ones have obviously been a little bit updated, but see, like Camshaft's body is actually the body of the car, just sort of vertically arranged.
And his legs are the hood, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, I think so. And I think his Yeah, like he had a different transformation. That's why I made sure that I got the character in the 80s. No, I've got no idea how they're going to. No idea how they're going to interact with anything else in the card game or what effect they're going to have. I do apologize.
Well, I mean, from reading just the card description, it seems that these guys are designed to sort of work together as a team. I can see down there it says, there's a bonus depending on the number of Omnibots you have. So it sounds like it's kind of you can build your deck around having some cool Omnibots in it.
It does seem likely. One other. So there was one other. Excuse me. There was another addition to the card game that was announced this week.
Yes!
Which is a Soundwave and Blaster pack that has a Soundwave and a Blaster card.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the Soundwave and Blaster cards are foil cards. Actually, they're all foil cards, and each of them come with 3 cassettes. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you package cassettes with these guys? So there'll be Blaster and Soundwave cards with mini cassettes ready to rock and roll and rough and tumble when you unpack things. Can I also just say that some of the packaging that I've seen for cards in the card game is extremely elaborate, and I'm very disappointed.
Just in case you aren't aware of it, did you know that there is actually another version of this available to people?
When you say another version, are you talking about some of the other things with the G1 art on their cards, or is that?
You mean the retro pack for the Transformers trading card game featuring Blaster vs. Soundwave 35th Anniversary Edition? Oh!
Is that different to this version?
It's this version, but with retro art. And it's
right, so it's the box
gouges.
Art. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
this is the more updated box art that we've got on here.
Well, this is the modern box art with everything sort of been drawn for the cards. The older one is quite literally the old art sort of just repackaged and used for it, meaning you have Glorious Blaster claw hand, you have Soundwave's incredibly weak-looking hips.
No, but Soundwave looks strong here. Soundwave
does his hips look like they're not going to fall apart the second he tries to take a step off something? Surely.
Transformers look like they were going to fall apart. But yes. So we did notice this when we were going through. I wasn't quite sure what the distinction on them was. So they are separate packs, you're saying?
Yes. So, I mean, from what I understand, there is one that's going to be available in I think it's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That's the thought that I have. I mean, makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And then the other one's just what's going to be commercially available. It'll be on the shelves. You'll find it eventually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, it blasters the claw hand.
Dark Claw. Yeah, no, I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see the box art get another run. But yeah, it's great. All right, let's move on from there. It is time for us to talk again about the G1 Prime, because this thing has come up during the week and basically proved to be a massive conundrum. We are talking about the 35th anniversary G1 Prime crowdfund set that has come up. I believe it was
crowdfund.
Yes, it's crowdfunding. It was shown off during one of the, I think it was Tokyo Comic Show last week. It is a set that has a golden G1 Prime nailed onto a trophy box. Yes, that was nailed on, which means that when you transform him like this,
he's got to stand on the base of his feet. So it just ends up chonked on the back end of him.
This is one of the other things I've ever seen.
So, all right, so look, it's a gold G1 Prime, right? Like, we know that Takara has long used gold versions of things as lucky draw prizes.
Yes.
Somewhere out there are real gold G1 Primes, and they're rare as hen's teeth and far more expensive. This is a newly produced version, and there will be no mistaking this for the old one because it is nailed onto the trophy box. Also, like, it seems like he borrows a bit of the gold paint scheme from the Golden Lagoon figures. It's almost like they were testing how to do golden Transformers as a mass-produced figure. So he's on a massive base that where's the photo there? So he's on a big base, which is Convoy with his some Japanese text there. It's a Takara logo and a Transformers 35 logo. It seems like a slight waste of space, but also, like, if you have this on your if you have this in your collection, like holy shit, like yeah. So I kind of don't want this because I know it's going to cost so much money, but I also kind of want it because like Transformers means a lot to me.
And this is a very big deal, isn't it?
It is a really big deal. Some of the other things that they've done. This is almost a bigger deal than the gold G1 Prime, right? Is that they're actually reprinting the stars.
Oh my god, I remember that.
I know, like so we had this as a mail away in Australia, but it did not come with the metallic pin that is at the top of the screen there as well. But I think we did get the membership card. They've also reproduced the catalog and the box art that came in as a poster as well. So kind of impressive. Not worth the I think it works out at about something like $300 for this plus the gold G1 Prime. It's not real gold. Like if it was real gold, maybe it would be worth it.
Real gold, it probably wouldn't be that price. It'd be a different price, a far
more.
price.
It would be another price. And this is, I believe, this part is one of the other catalog reproductions. My Japanese is not good. I don't know any Japanese, but so these are the whole things. Now, if you want to get in on them, so we're talking a trophy. I got a trophy style presentation of a G1 Prime, a Stars base, a couple of catalog reproductions, a Stars membership card, a metallic Stars pin, which I do know someone in New South Wales who does have one of the original Japanese pins for this. It's kind of cool, and a box art poster reproduction. The asking price to get in on the crowdfund of these is about $220, or I think for the Matrix box set, which prints your names in one of the books, if you're one of the 500 backers, then it's about $300. And the crowdfunding is open for the next month, and then they take it away and then they produce it. Now,
I mean, how could you miss out? I mean, I've just used the Google Lens here to actually try and translate what's being said to us. What we're looking at right now.
Tell me.
The top text reads, "This super luxurious set is," and then the red text at the bottom says, "All to yours." And above the Transformers logo, it says very clearly, "Edition Battle Super Robot Fight."
Yeah, no, that sounds all right. What about this one?
What about this one? Oh, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. All right. I was thinking. Okay. Thinking some more. Yes, there is something there. 2000 Robot Green Body, Box 3, finally, Super Robot Fight, Super Robot Life. I don't think Google Lens is quite on our side for this one, but
I'm not sure.
God help me, it's tried.
What I do know is that because it's a crowdfund, it's actually quite difficult to get your hands on this.
Just clarify for me, where does the crowdfunding come into this? Is it a case that these are only going to be available to a certain number of people that back it, or
I believe so. So it's something about there's a group. I think it's called, as I can see in the background, it's Legacy TV Con, Transformers with 35th anniversary crowdfunding project details. And so I believe they're working with Takara on it, but it is not Takara who's producing.
That's going to be my next question, is like, how are they related to Takara in this particular situation?
Yeah.
And it sounds like they just exist and Takara likes money. Therefore, there's a relationship.
Look, if there's one thing we know about the last year or so of Takara's existence is that they do like to collect a bit of money from Transformers.
They do, in fact, like money.
They do. So now, let's look. You got a few options, right? There are a couple of retailers who have said, right, we're going to back this and import it and sell it. Those retailers are charging. I've seen a price of $500 floating around.
Really?
And I'm thinking about it. I really am thinking about it. But
I mean, to be honest, it really is sort of one of those things that captures you as it's the only one of its kind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of going to be, right?
I would never judge somebody for buying this. It's not in my price range, but I'll tell you what, I'd love to see one in person. I just know it's not going to be on my shelf.
It's not something I would consider in a million years, but like actually purchasing, but as a piece that, just I can just purely admire the fact that it exists.
Next week on the podcast,
it's impressive.
Thinking like I pre-ordered it.
Yep.
Coming live from his cardboard box, Jason, who has pre-ordered.
I spent every bit of money I learned in this month, but I pre-ordered it.
Yes, absolutely.
Ramen noodles.
Like I'm convincing myself that I want it.
That's not what you should be doing.
This is a
I know, but this is the problem. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I am convincing myself that I want it. I can't do much about it. Anyway, yes. So that is a thing that is happening. You've got a couple of options. Like you. So I am actually going to investigate whether or not I can actually get Treasure Japan to crowdfund it for me, and then just when it arrives, send it to me. I'm considering putting my name in one of the things and going for the higher backing thing as well. I might have to email Treasure and see what they say. Also, because the crowdfunding site, I cannot navigate if I can't speak Japanese. I have ordered from Takara Tomy Mall before with a friend of mine who can speak Japanese, and so like I could probably do it, but I would rather have someone who actually speaks Japanese and can go, yes, I know what to press here and make it work for you. So yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So that look, it's coming. It's going to be a while away. I actually think it's not due until February next year, by which time it's no longer the 35th.
I'm sure the time zones work out.
Yes, sure. It's just a time zone thing. It might come next year when your gold convoy arrives. It's just got a little bit of whiteout on the 5 on 35. Someone's just changed it to 36. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Ocular Max. We mentioned Ocular Max a little bit earlier. Ocular Max has an exclusive repaint of because of course, like why wouldn't they have an exclusive repaint of their RC as she's coming out as Ocular Max PS18 Zinnia. She is a TFCon Toronto exclusive, which I'm kind of taking that to mean that there might be a few hanging around at TF Nation when I head over in August.
Are you after a blue sea as it is?
I'm not necessarily after a blue sea, but this is making me think that maybe I want to get their pink sea. I mean RC. But yeah. So my actual favorite thing about this is not necessarily this figure directly, but my favorite thing about it is actually the absolute rip-off of a very popular internet meme that I'm not sure whether it was MMC that did this themselves, or if Ages 3 and Up sponsor did it, which is this one.
It is pretty fantastic.
This was fantastic. They set up Springer looking like the guy in the meme who's looking at the hot girl walking down the road whose girlfriend is disgusted with him. And the reason I'm thinking that I might actually want to pick up the RC from this is that the figures are capable of doing this, and like they're almost perfectly positioned. Their expressions work well, and it makes me think that they're probably good figures to have on my display. So yeah, I like it.
It's not my cup of tea, but I know that there's people out there that would probably enjoy it a great deal. I do like the expressive faces, though.
Yeah, I also kind of really have heard enough about Fans Toys Rouge that I don't think I want that. So.
Yeah, I'm a Rouge apologist, so
it seems that the way you do speak about it has actually seemed to fall in line with how divisive the opinion has been towards that figure. Like, you see two very different sides there.
I think Ocular Max makes a better play figure, whereas Fans Toys have created a better display figure.
It's probably about right, actually, because they're not slavishly like trying to recreate a G1 figure.
There's a lot of open to interpretation on their end. There's a lot of things that they've sort of done that you can tell from a design standpoint probably works for the engineering of the toy. But like if you were to put a picture of RC next to the figure, you spend a lot of time going, "Wait a minute,
wait that." Whereas they were not slavishly accurate to it.
Next to a picture and you sort of squint, you could probably think they're the same thing. So
if it's not literally the G1 figure, then it's not accurate enough.
Yeah. All right. One last news story before we talk about acquisitions. There's some new age toys out now. New Age is
Who is New Age Toys?
well. So what is New Age Toys? So New Age Toys has been releasing a lot of looks at upcoming figures lately, and the Insecticons definitely caught our eye. One of the reasons they caught my eye is actually that they kind of look like mini versions of Fans Toys Insecticons, and I love the Fans Toys Insecticons.
Once again, turns around and pulls up a Fans Toys Insecticon. Let us compare.
Oh, hang on a sec. Wait, there we go. Bring up. There we go. Okay, cool.
All right, so Bombshell next to Little Bombshell. You know, you're not wrong. Like, the more I look at it,
I know. Thank you. It's like,
ow. So there's Bombshell, and now we're going to grab a little kickback and do another one, and
yeah. Like,
and I mean, it's one of those things that the Fans Toys Insecticons have always been such a massive favorite of mine because they are quintessentially perfect examples of the Insecticons.
They absolutely are.
So it means that me looking at these little minifigures, I'm like, wow.
I know. That's pretty much what I'm thinking of getting them as well. So we are looking at H10, H11, and H12 in the New Age lineup, and they come with their weapons, and they come with some little Energon cubes because you can't make Insecticons without giving them Energon cubes to play.
Mm-hmm. Even the Fans Toys ones came with Energon cubes.
They sure
need them,
although they were tiny. Yeah, they look great. Any other Insecticons fans, Max? Are you a fan of the insects?
Yeah, I think they look like excellent little figures, and I'm sure they'll turn out well. I just sort of a half question the need for them, to be honest. Like, mostly just on account of the fact that the recent Legend scale Insecticons we got, actually, it's not so recent anymore, is it? Because it's been staggered releases over, almost a better part of a decade now. But the staggered trio of Insecticon Legends that we've had have been quite good. So I'm sure these will be better, but it's like the need for an upgrade isn't, or it's not really there, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, if these guys come as a set, my big question would be, if I was the discerning Legend scale collector, of which I am, and the Insecticons are known for being a little bit smaller than your average bot. Like, I mean, even the Fans Toys ones are like, about a head shorter than your average car bot from a Masterpiece scale. Are these guys at Legend scale therefore slightly smaller just to be Legend scale Insecticons? Because, I mean, they look very petite.
They do, but I think there might just be a standard Legend scale figure. Yeah, I don't.
Anybody got a height that you might see on them, or?
No, see, I look for telltale signs like pins and things like that, and that's why I think they just look like standard Legends.
What I'm picking up there is the ball joint for the shoulders seems really aggressive. Like, either the ball joint's quite big or they are quite small.
I see. Yeah, maybe that. You're looking at kickback.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at kickback and to a lesser extent shrapnel up the back, because you see he's got the same kind of thing going on. It always annoys me. Like, this is the one thing that comes to be a pet peeve of mine when it comes to third-party people. If you're a third-party company and you are releasing figures, please put them next to something else you've done, just so we know. Like, it doesn't have to don't put them next to MP10 probably, because you probably shouldn't do that. But if your first figure was a Prime, chuck it next to the Prime, so that way we know, and that way people can rub their chin and get excited in whole new ways.
Like, there might be something. Oh, look at that. That's great.
So what's with the lightning effects there? Do they come with effects?
Maybe.
Are we living in an age where siege weapon effects are taking off and now they're getting third-partied as well? Like, I'm cool if they are. I'm cool with that.
That's for sure. There's some ball joints on on Bombshell's toes there.
He's got ball toes.
He's got ball toes. Like, he doesn't have ankle tilts. He has toe tilts.
So now, are these being sold together? This is coming as a set, right?
I don't know. They've got their own identifying numbers, so they're H10, H11, H12. So they may not be They may not be together.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you go back to that last picture, just basing off the scale discussion, the picture we're looking at here obviously has good old mate Bombshell. His hands are down. You can see very clearly his peg holes. Do you think it'd be a standard peg hole size?
Yeah, I reckon they would be, which I think does peg them as quite small. But given how small they are, like the fact that they can pull off poses like this, it's really quite impressive.
I really do love how the legend scale scene's going, because it just seems to be that the bar's getting raised considerably, but there's still this awesome push to make sure that they stay reasonably affordable. Like,
yeah, I've been
Masterpiece is just going, yeah, chuck a 0 on it because people will pay. But for Legends, they're like, we still got to make sure it's affordable. Like these guys coming as a set, not bad.
Hopefully they would. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I'd be down like a clown Charlie Brown for these guys.
You can probably pre-order them now.
I've been furiously Googling and I'm seeing nothing, just people talking about how good they look. Oh, here we go.
It does say they're likely.
The next to a Legend scale Ironhide, and they are very small.
It does say they're likely to be sold as a set of 3, but yeah, correct. There's no info on when they're coming out, but it does say that it's actually New Age's next entry in the Legend scale market. So maybe they're coming out soon. We'll find out.
So, well, I mean, just for your reference, I have sent you that picture just so you're aware of just what scale they may or may not be.
Yeah, cool. I can't get that out onto the screen yet.
Fair enough. Yeah. So generally, it's next to a sort of an evil-looking, I guess, Ironhide. He's black. We don't usually see Ironhide in a black, but yeah, it's just.
Is that a Diaclone color for Ironhide? I feel like it's either Diaclone or A-Team. I don't know.
It is. Well, it's sold as a shattered glass, but it's just a Diaclone one.
Pretty much. Yeah. All right. Okay, look, that concludes the news. Let's do a quick roundup of did we get anything new this week? I did not. Ash, did you get anything new this week?
I got Studio Series Bumblebee Prime, which actually surprised me, because obviously I'm in Tasmania, and Tasmania has this great habit of either getting a bunch of stuff all at once or getting nothing for months and months and months. And me and one of my local collector friends, there was 2 at our local Target, and we managed to form like Voltron and clear the shelves out and make sure that we got what we wanted. And quite pleased with him. As far as Voyager figures go from the Studio Series line, good heft, decent enough paint apps. I'm happy with him. I feel like I paid money and got something worth my time and cash.
I find it really interesting. Like, you're holding that up, like the lighting in your room must just be exceptional, right? Because that looks very red. And when I hold mine up here, the red is,
yours looks like a grungy brown.
I know, it really does. Like mine does not look as eye-poppingly red as yours does, which I think means I just need to address some lighting in this room.
You'll see it's because my failed wannabe career as a YouTube personality involved me setting up the perfect.
Do you have actual lights?
Yeah, and okay, my sound guy, my makeup guy, and my lighting guy. But
thank them all.
I try to make them I try to make myself look good. That's hard, but at least I can make Transformers look good.
All right, now Max, it's been a while. What have you got that's new?
Oh, I've got a couple. I have a couple of very excellent figures, actually. I would ideally like to have had more, but I'm trying over the months that I've gone of not talking about new acquisitions. But I'm trying to slow down a bit and focus on just the few more select pieces that really stand out to me as being of high quality. This isn't one of those. This is something that I bought just because it looked dumb and stupid, and it was reasonably cheap. So
sometimes you want dumb. Hey,
this is Siege Voyager Combat Megatron, which is so far my first and only venture into a Siege line.
And it's venture into the Siege line. It's a Hasbro Select Generations, and it's actually a Titans Return repaint.
Is it?
No, this is for Siege Megatron.
Yeah, that's Siege.
Siege.
Yeah,
I was sure when I picked that up the other day. Is he a triple changer?
Backpack.
No, this is the Siege one.
His tank backpack.
I was sure when I picked that up that it was actually the Titans Return triple changer. Fair enough.
I do have a similar silhouette, I suppose.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
But for those who don't know, this is an updated version of the obscure G2, like unreleased Megatron, but at the weird grey and green camo with the Megatron running across his chest.
What did he say his name was?
I do love the idea that the Decepticon leader has to have his own branding, just to make sure.
But so does the Autobot leader in G2, right?
It was the 90s. People were very ostentatious.
Yeah.
How else will the kids know?
But it's like, isn't it just the same thing as footballers running around the field with their names on their backs as well?
Yeah, but it's on their back.
Yeah.
You make a good point. Let's put it down to that, actually. So yeah, as a pure design, it's wonderfully bonkers. And as a figure itself, I'd heard a lot of good things about the Siege line in terms of just the engineering, and especially the actual, just the build quality of it, really. And I was not expecting to be this good. It doesn't feel like a retail Transformer as I've come to expect it. It feels like a cut above what we've got in the lines came before this.
Completely agree. It's a very interesting. It's a very interesting place we're in when it comes to your supermarket Transformers nowadays.
Yeah, it feels like Hasbro across the board is making their retail figures of a high quality. You see, their 1/12 scale figures for other lines are looking more and more like Japanese style figures and stuff like this. And when you get to the Transformers, you get stuff like this where it's the engineering. It's not a massive step above from anything else, but it's solid. Everything functions as it's supposed to, and it feels fantastic. Like every joint is just perfectly smooth and sits in place just perfectly. There's a feedback to the way it moves. If it makes any sense, you move something and it sticks in place. It's a really satisfying figure to handle, and I think that is the biggest draw point for me of this. I bought it because it looked dumb, and what I got was just one of the most subtly put together action figures I've ever owned. So I'm very impressed by this in a way that I was not expecting to be whatsoever.
That's great. I can't believe I thought he was the Titans Return repaint.
Yes, that one.
And then the other thing is a bit bigger than that and not quite as official. So obviously there was the Studio Series Grimlock a couple years ago.
I have to move back a little bit to fit him in frame.
We did get the leader Grimlock, and I picked that up and thought it was a pretty nice figure. But
is that the Studio Series?
No, so the Studio Series had a few issues that really threw me off.
I was going to say, I've seen the Studio Series in stores, and I don't remember it blocking out the sun.
No, this is the Kuban Val version, so it's an oversized KO,
really big, black and silver.
And my conscience can rest easy because I bought the leader class version and then I sold that.
Takara got their money.
You got your money, and I've got my KO. It's all. I
downloaded the movie, but I bought a ticket anyway. I just didn't watch it in the cinema. It's all good.
Yeah, I just don't like people. So yeah, it's basically that Studio Series figure and all the good that comes with that, but then a whole lot more added on top of it. So he had the weird ball on the right hand, but he had for a fraction of a second in the movie, and instead that you can give him that, but he also now has an articulated hand with the full mace there. He's got extra posability in the hands, die-cast armor pieces and feet, light up eyes, and obviously he's just massive. Like, it's obvious. I should point out that movie Grimlock is an absurdly large character. Many people would say too large. I would agree in that. So what they've done here is they've gone, right, it's going to be movie masterpiece scale if movie Grimlock was in the same scale as G1 Grimlock. So if you put him next to a movie masterpiece scale Optimus Prime, he's the same size relative to that Prime as G1 Grimlock was relative to G1 Prime. And it's not accurate, but to me, that's the ideal way to display these two. Because I don't know about you, but I've always loved this design. One of the better movie designs, in my opinion, and it's really nice to have a figure of it that just it's for me personally. This feels exactly the hole I needed it to feel. Yeah, very pleased with this one.
It's a big hole.
Yeah,
but he's
yeah. Is that it for new acquisitions?
I believe that is it for new acquisitions. I don't have anything new. I feel like it might be a while before I get something new. If I see Wave 3 Siege figures around town, I might pick them up here and there. But so here's the thing, right? In Sydney, we've got Wave 3 Siege figures at King's Comics, and they're like $70 for a Voyage.
How much
for a deluxe?
Yeah.
Like it's a common story with especially with comic stores that do small imports. They end up doing great imports, and by the time they get here, the figures are on shelves anyway at a cheaper price.
Exactly. At the time that Combiner Wars was at its peak, I did a small trip to Melbourne and I went to Minotaur Comics. Great comic place, good to have a look at. And I saw that they had some of the Stunticons in there, and they were like $60 a deluxe, and it blew my mind. And I went, "What? Not buying that." On a whim, I walked 5 minutes up the road to Maya, found all of them in a toy sale for $25 each.
Yeah,
I bought all 4 of them.
A lot of the comic stores, they have a particular set of a captive audience in a way, but it's not so much a captive audience. It's they buy their stock, they sell it. They were actually, when they posted the prices online, they said, look, they're going to be high. We've imported them ourselves. Blah blah blah. So yeah,
we'll write up a receipt that said that this came from overseas. That might make you feel better. Yeah, not for me.
No. So I will just point out in terms of the figures coming out, Amazon actually does have Siege Springer, who is a Voyager figure, for the recommended retail price of $50. And if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can get him shipped to you for free. I believe, according to discussions in the chat group, that shipping is very fast from Amazon. So if you want a Wave 3 Voyager and you want your Siege Springer, go order in from Amazon. You can probably order other stuff from Amazon while you're at it as well, and get your refractors, get your extra micro masks.
Siege Wagon, you're probably desperate for an Autobot Voyager anyway, because there's so many Decepticon ones.
Is that right? So yeah, I'm not planning to pick any of them up. I might pick them up on a sale. I don't know. So what are the Siege figures that I have? I mean, actually, I've got most of Wave 2 because I got bored and I actually did buy them. So
Wave 2 was very good though.
Yeah, I've got Ironhide, I've got Prowl, I've got Six Gun. I don't have Chromia, but yeah, they're okay. I have enjoyed playing, sort of taking apart Six Gun and reassembling him. It kind of makes me want to pick up COG, but I'm also not really that fussed by it. I do have a Galaxy Upgrade Convoy Prime, and I do have an original Siege Voyager Wave 1 Prime as well, which I did pick up for an inflated price at Hobbyco. I got that Prime, so yeah, he's even expensive on Amazon now.
Yeah,
Wave 1 is hard to get. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for the show. In TCCA business, it is in fact membership renewal time. Details went into the group and went out to existing members from July 1st. Membership this year is $5 for a standard membership, just like every other year, and $15 for a deluxe membership. You will get certain things in your member kit, and we do have some exclusive cards like years gone by, designed by Justin, and this year we have Optimus Primal and Beast Wars Megatron.
We also have bumper stickers designed by me.
Yes, bumper stickers designed by yourself, and some exclusive artwork and exclusive bumper stickers. So, for the low price of $5 for a year's membership, or $15 for a deluxe membership, if you appreciate listening to the podcast, I please do implore you to please head on over to transformerscca.com and sign up for membership. If you do it now, then you get the most bang for buck out of your membership, because membership does run 2 financial years, and we're only 5 days into the current financial year. So I'm going to channel Molly Meldrum. Do yourself a favor and get in there and get on that. And of course, if you are, and Ash has muted himself I don't
want to laugh too much at this. Channel Molly Meldrum went, oh god.
I didn't say I'm a fan of Molly Meldrum. I said I'm going to channel Molly Meldrum. and now I'm going to go fall off a roof. It's time for bed. As I said earlier, we do record this late on a Friday night, so yeah. It's time to go. Thank you for listening, everyone. And if you're watching the live record, then thank you as well. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us at the Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook. The Facebook page for the podcast is Australian Transformers Weekly. You can find us on Pocket Casts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, iTunes, whatever. Just it's all out there everywhere. The podcast is a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. It's a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers like us who donate their time and money like us to make the club better for everyone like you. Our goal is to collect our goal is to collect Transformers fans, but we want to connect Transformers fans around the country, and we do it by engaging the collecting community. Like to go out and meet you all at conventions, and that unfortunately costs a bit of money. So if you like what we do and appreciate us, please support us. Membership is available from transformerscca.com. That is it from us, and we will be back with more Transformers news and hopefully more actual Transformers news and less crapping on about Omnibots next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And toodles.
Toodle Pipski. Oh, I need to press the stop broadcast button.
Yeah, you do.